Ever since the rumours of a Hu Taos rerun started around when The Wanderer came out, I knew who I was going to be saving for. Having lost my 50-50 on his banner to my first Tainari constellation, I began saving, and I had to save my primos through Raiden, a character I really like and mained for ages, Ayato, a character who I lost my 50-50 on, and then Xiao, one of my favourite characters who I simply haven't gotten yet due to his gameplay loop being very repetitive. And further yet, I had to decide between getting Yelan, a sub DPS I really wanted, and then Hu Taos, a main DPS who I really wanted, all while having a guarantee. TLDR, saving is really painful for a low spender. I had saved around 86 wishes along with 10 pity, so I was set. I'd also pre-farmed enough stuff to 90 Hu Taos day 1, and to my surprise, even give her a crown on her skill, which I can safely say I don't regret doing. Hu Taos was easily one of the strongest characters in the game in terms of damage, up there with characters like Ganyu, Ito, and Raiden. Which is a very amusing statement to me, considering she has the lowest base attack in the entire game at level 90, even lower than Barbara, sitting at 106 base attack. Compare that to Xiao, another main DPS of high caliber, who has a base attack of nearly 360. Why did I say 360? It's nearly 350. But that doesn't stop Hu Taos from hitting nearly 100k crits left and right, because her main gimmick is probably one of my favourites in games. In games, I always like characters who need to sacrifice something for their damage. Harrow in Warframe is an example of this, having to sacrifice his shields for damage. Or Rex in Risk of Rain, who uses some of his HP for abilities. This gimmick of sacrifice something is Hu Taos' main DPS gimmick, so to speak. She has absurdly high HP for a DPS, most Hu Taos, though well built, sit around 32k, much like myself. Her ability takes away her HP and adds it to her attack, and the scaling of this conversion is amazing. The ability will always take 30% of her HP, and it will add, when at level 10, 6.2% of whatever her HP is to her attack, and for me, that's around a 2000 attack bonus. Her ability also infuses her attacks with Pyro, and charge attacks inflict something called a Blood Blossom. This will mark enemies for constant Pyro damage, and her ability is the main part of her kit, no doubt. It sets off all the insane damage, and it takes away her HP, and the lower her HP is, the stronger she is. This is why Hu Taos is seen being ran with Zhongli so much. Give her survivability, while keeping her in the low HP threshold. Considering I just mentioned how Hu Taos benefits being on low HP, I should probably explain why. Firstly, when Hu Taos was on a low HP, the damage from her ult was increased, as is the HP regained from using it. Speaking of, that's all her burst really is. It's a large AoE pyro hit that deals some crazy damage, and it also heals Hu Taos, which is a nice bonus. With the regen and the damage being increased if she's lower than 50% HP, or on 50% HP. And the amount that increased by that, like, being beyond the threshold, is pretty generous. So for example, at level 10, the base damage, or being above 50% HP, is 493%, and the base regen is 10.2% of her HP. But if you're below 50% HP, the damage is 617, which is a big bonus, and 13.6% of her base HP gets regenerated. It's a pretty generous increase, and a pretty useful one, considering she likes to be on below 50% HP due to her second passive. That being, if Hu Taos is under 50% HP, her pyro damage is increased by 33%. Pair this with a 4-piece Crimson Witch, and a pyro damage goblet, and that's pretty easily a 100% pyro damage increase. Considering the extra damage from the 4-piece comes into effect after using your skill, that also takes away your HP, it's easiest to sustain this buff, although you can't benefit from the full 3 stacks of the pyro set, due to her cooldowns and the duration of the set buff not being long enough or short enough to synchronize with each other. For her artifacts, I was initially running a 4-piece Shiminawa build, and because the extra attack bonus from normal and charge attacks seemed really nice considering her playstyle, but I didn't realise how much I'd be wanting to use her ult, both for the healing and the damage bonus. Not having Zhongli and only viable healer for Hu Taos being Xingqiu meant her ult was much more viable than I thought. The only reason I'd farmed this set and not the Crimson Witch set initially was because I hate that domain. Like, I only have 2 built Hydra characters and you can't use a lecture in it, so it can go fuck itself. But I have friends who have characters like Yelan, Ayato, and Tartaglia, so they help me out. And now I look back and I think, yeah, Crimson Witch is so much better for her. As I mentioned before, and nearly everyone who plays this game will know, Crimson Witch is the pyro damage set. one of the standard go-to sets for a pirate DPS. Some others, like Yoimiya, prefer a Shiminawa because of their playstyle, but most pirate DPS, this is the go-to. It won't surprise me if this is the best set for Dio when she comes out. Anyway, I'm getting off track. This set gives a 15% pirate damage bonus, the standard for all the damage bonus sets. But much like the other 6, they have a unique 4-piece interaction. The Crimson Witch one gives a damage bonus to Overloaded and Burning by 40%, and then Vaporize and Melt get a 15% damage bonus. That's pretty good. But there's one extra buff that really makes the 4-piece worth it for a lot of characters. Using an elemental skill increases the 2-piece set bonus by 50% of its starting value for 10 seconds, max of 3 stacks. To put it in a simpler explanation, using a skill can give you up to a 65% pyro damage bonus, and it can stack 3 times. If your cooldown is low enough on your ability, the 4-piece can really work. It was probably made with D-Luke in mind, seeing as he has 3 uses of his ability, so he can take advantage of the 3 stacks mechanic, but Hu Taos can't. I mean, you can still easily achieve 100% if, like I mentioned, if you're under 50% HP with a Pyro Goblet. It all comes together and you get around 120, I think mine is on, so it's still pretty strong. Hu Taos, being as strong as she is, can easily kick ass without a team. She's a really good DPS for your co-op domain runs, but she can really skyrocket if you have a good team comp, so I'll mention a few. Xingqiu is by far her best teammate. He works to keep her alive and add the Vaporize reaction, which is the most common reaction I see for Hu Taos teams, and it's understandable. Paired with Xingqiu or Yelan, the constant reaction damage is amazing. One of the better teams I see consists of Hu Taos for the main DPS, Xingqiu, both for the Vaporize reaction, and he can also supply some damage reduction and some minor healing, which minor healing is good for Hu Taos because it doesn't take her above 50%, so you still have the low HP damage bonuses. Kazuha for the damage bonus for his burst and the CC, and then Zhongli. Shielders are really good for Hu Taos because they give survivability without healing, which keeps the damage bonus. If you want to, you can swap Kazuha for Yelan, and if you're free to play, this team is still achievable. Xingqiu is a 4-star, so there's no issues there. Sucrose can supply crowd control if that's what you want. And there's plenty of shielders like Tom or Noel, and if you have constellations, Beidou and Yanfei work, or if you're really out there, or really lucky, or unlucky, Kaya works as well. Personally, not having Zhongli, I run Hu Taos, Yanfei for her shield, and with C4, and the Pyro Resonance, Kazuha for CC and the damage bonus, and then Xingqiu for the reaction and minor healing, plus damage reduction for anyone who's out on the field. Another reaction team would be a Melt team. I don't personally use one, but that doesn't mean they're bad. A good free-to-play Melt team would be Hu Taos, Xingqiu, this time instead for applying Hydro instead of Vaporize, but you can still do Vaporize if you want. Rosaria for the freeze proc, mainly from her ult because it does the continuous cryo damage, then Diana for her shield, and healing if you'd want that, and then obviously she's a cryo character so she can freeze things as well, or just apply cryo for the melt. Alternatively, if you spend a bit more money on the game, or just really lucky, Ayaka works since you don't need to do freeze for the melt reaction, Kazuha for the same reasons I listed earlier, then anybody else, shielder or a healer. Bennett could work, as his attack bonus is really nice for Ayaka if she's the one proccing the reaction for whatever reason. Not saying she's bad, but to proc the reaction this team would be really weird. And he can heal any other party member or Hu Taos for whatever reason. But if you want a flat attack bonus, I'd recommend Yunjin, since she only really needs defense to give a good bonus, and she doesn't heal like Bennett does. So there you have it, that's my take on Hu Taos, the newest character I went for. I can safely say she was worth the wait and the primos, even if she did nearly take me to 90 pity. Super strong, super fun, the teams with her are really easy to make, not needing certain characters to perform well, and if she's still out while you're watching this, I'd recommend going for her, because if you like her gameplay, go for it, or if you like big crit numbers, she's really good at doing that as well. But if you missed the current banner, good luck waiting for next year's Lantern Rite, I suppose. Hello there, end of video Mixel here. Sorry this video was super late, I got sick the day before I planned, so that was fucking typical. But if you're still here, thank you for watching. The next video is probably going to be about whatever character I pull for in 3.5, whether that be Dia or Shenhe, because I already have Ayaka and Sino. And I might try to do some more relaxed content and me and my friends just playing the game, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Thank you for watching through this character analysis of mediocre quality, I think we'll call it for now. See you later.